Welcome to Wabag, provincial capital and show location. This is my first trip here and I am super excited to share my Enga experience. We checked into the Ribito Hotel owned by a local businessman, Paul Kurai, who actively supports the show. The hotel sits in the heart of town, so it's easily accessible. We take a quick drive around town to familiarize ourselves and locate the showgrounds. Media passes have been picked up and we've been advised that the Take Anda Museum, featuring Enga's famous sand paintings, the famed Sirunki Strawberry Farm and salt ponds are places to visit while in Enga, besides the two-day cultural show.
The ENGA Show 2020 coincides with commemorating the 47th anniversary of the Enga province. The show is the only cultural event to have gone ahead this year, but under strict restrictions. But the atmosphere is one of pride and pays homage to a province usually referred to as the last frontier.
To pull off this event required months of planning and preparation for a show that usually draws thousands of visitors, including international tourists who book through local tour operators well in advance. Under strict regulations, the Enga Show Committee was determined that the show must go on.
This event started in 1994 and it's 2020. We're 26 years old. I felt bad because like my cultural groups in the district, in the provinces, they always look forward for the second weekend of August to come and showcase their own culture, which they take pride of. But when it was deferred from August 7th to the 9th, they kept sending me texts, calling me, and was so unhappy. They said, why can't you go home? There is no COVID-19 in Enga. We'd like to thank the SOE controller for trusting in our government's leadership and our administration and the people of Enga. I can tell you it's 4,600 from the tickets. That excludes the police securities and our securities, our show committee. What I'm giving you is the number of tickets that went out.
Since last year, show organizers focused on delivering a total authentic display of Engan culture, or a pure Enga show, meaning the cultural groups are only from Enga to showcase its uniqueness to the rest of the country and the world.
While Papua New Guinea is shut down with all their shows, I'm so happy, and I thought they would not come in that number, but they did made it. But what you can see on the arena here is 1/3 of the cultural group. Normally, it's 65 singing groups every year, but we had to cut it down, and today it's 30, 7 from the schools, which they participated yesterday. Friday is always a school day. The reason for the show is just to, it's for the kids. We want to preserve our culture, our tradition. That's why we host the show. So we make Friday the Children's Day. So that's when they come and participate. So we had about 7 groups yesterday, and now you can see 23, total of 36 groups. I didn't expect this crowd, but I'm so happy. Overwhelmed by the attendance for the participants and even by the public. We couldn't allow them in according to the WHO protocol standards, so we had to control the ticket to make the number that is required in this space area.
Tradition and heritage are a part of any Engan culture, just like others here in Papua New Guinea. Performances like these are done in times of celebration, marriage, hunting, compensation, or any other significant event.
COVID-19 disrupted what was to have been an August event, but in true Enga style and fully supported by the Action Governor himself, Sir Peter Ipatas, he was enthusiastic that by hosting the event, this will educate people on the way of doing things going into the future. I caught up with Sir Peter prior to the show.
We want to show people that there are protocols that we have to follow all the time. It's part of an educational thing for our people as well. So when they come to the show, they will appreciate the new normal, so that they can see what it is, how it's important for each individual to make sure that they wash their hands, social distancing, wearing masks, which nobody wants to wear here. So those are the things that we want to keep on illustrating to our people, so they can take it up in their daily lives. So that's basically why we are doing it. We won't get it 100%, but it's a learning process. So we will be happy to see by the end of the show how far we go down educating our people to live the new normal life. Yeah.
Keep watching the Enga Experience. Last year, show organizers focused on making this a pure Enga event. The cultural sing-sing groups represent the 6 districts of Wabeg, Kandep, Wapenamanda, Kompiam Ambom, Laigam, and Pogera. Enga also has the largest number of speakers to any native language. That's almost 500,000 people speaking one language.
One of the most euphoric feelings for any Papua New Guinean is when you wear your bilas or traditional attire proudly and you get to share your culture with other people. They came in all their exquisite Engan regalia and finery.
This la Enga Provincial Day. Debla mipla olenga. Also, bunging one time celebrating tupla something one time. Mipla ham maslong celebrating Debla mipla at the same time. Maski mipla nubla generated sen. That's all. Culture mipla still exists in several Enga provinces along Papua New Guinea.
One significant part of any traditional dress here in Enga is the elaborate wigs or headdress. In the past, men wore them in everyday life. A man's natural hair was grown and hair cuttings fastened to the wig to shape and expand it. Much time was devoted to its care, and men would often sleep on neck rests to avoid its damage. Plant juice mixtures were used to blacken the wigs and magic spells to protect them. Today, these are only worn during sing-sings. Their shapes vary from area to area. The wigs worn by the women in this next group can be traced back to tribe in central and eastern Enga.
My name is Rose Luai. This is my group, Lebian Kaimul Women's Group from Pilekambi, Laigam District. This time was a Miplas has started before Tumbana been started was good old days time. You mean of been white man in Okama Viet now. Papa Tumbana been started was long na Miplas Sagadamo Masna Miplai forming this culture group.
An absence of overseas visitors didn't dampen the show's spirit, and it was heartwarming to meet tourists who made the trip to Enga to experience the 26th Enga Show. Though only a handful, several were first-time visitors, like myself, and were happy the event went ahead to see a corner of our beautiful country never visited before.
Fantastic. I'm so happy I came. And I think that sometimes we think that the show is for international visitors and guests, but Papua New Guineans don't experience this ourselves, and I'm so happy that I came. I brought my family along too, and they just love it.
Not a new face in Enga, really Anton Lut said, this trip is one he never misses, and it was encouraging to hear the show would continue. When you get to live in a breathtaking part of the country, he says, the sights and sounds are one never to miss.
I think it's really important that we continue celebrating our culture, and I think we've all taken precautions. We've had temperature checks, and I think it's a good thing that Enga's gone ahead with this.
Then there was a newcomer to Papua New Guinea who based in Port Moresby for work, Eva, who by chance learned from friends who had planned the trip up, but she jumped at the opportunity to come along.
I'm from Taiwan. Actually, I just come with my friend. They told me that Enga Show is super excited and I must come. Yeah, this is the first time I'm excited about it. Enga is really a really nice, friendly place. Yeah.
With limited time to fit in all the activities, we made a quick trip to the Takeanda Museum that boasts a selection of amazing sand paintings. Sculptor and museum director Aki Tumu, who graduated from art school in Port Moresby in the 1980s, developed this exquisite form of art during his role as the head of the Enga Cultural Centre. The lack of art supplies like canvas, brushes and even paint gave Aki this genius idea, and this new art form was born. When we stopped by the museum, caretaker and artist himself, Gabriel Tom, was feeling unwell for an interview, but he happily showed us some of his paintings. He is one of the few remaining older artists who learnt the art from Aki himself and still uses some of the older styles of painting today. Featured at the Enga Showground were several younger artists displaying their talents, and another older artist who, like Tom, was a student of Aki Tumo, but now teaches young men to pass the skill on.
Director me, Emi Aki Tumo, and been lining me long Enga Cultural Center. The me inside long 1988. Me line of Islam become enough now, Emi 2020. Now me lining more Lig monkey here, long Enga Cultural Show.
Paintings vary in size and price. Those that sell for anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 kina can take up to 2 or 3 weeks to make. Smaller ones sell in the hundreds of kina, and the larger commission pieces can net as much as 15,000 kina. Earlier paintings mostly use traditional motifs, but recent paintings depict traditional Enga way of life in a modern style, making it more accessible to global travelers.
Strawberries are just one agricultural produce unique to Enga province, but with the Highlands region, there's an abundance of potatoes, broccoli, and many others that are supporting local communities.
When you hear the name Sirunki, it's synonymous with strawberries, and this farm produces sweet, succulent harvest. The Sirunki farm is part of the innovative agro-industry company who have several other farms around the country.
Innovative agro people, we have around the PNG, we have farms like in Koroba, Hela province, Tari, broiler chicken farm. Koroba is a poultry eggs farm, and this one in Enga is strawberry. Also we produce vegetables. And Pangia, Southern Islands, we have a Pangia potato factory. So we are also supporting locals to give them a work, to also avoid fightings and tribal wars. And we give by some potato seedlings, and we buy back those potatoes for our potato cook factory. So we are managers, we organize and develop and also bring some economic growth to this province. And also this one is a very prime demand heritage of this Enga province. So we do inventing some lot of things like to grow other types of vegetables. So usually we don't have much demand in this Enga, but we are supplying from here to home, to other provinces.
The company provides seedlings to and buys back the potatoes, generating income for over 329 farmers in Sirunki, Layagam, Porgera and surrounding districts. The innovation and farming technology that they use is not only to support local, but to educate and motivate the farmers on its methods.
We use the drip irrigation system. We irrigate and fertilize into the drip lines, and the strawberries, they take the nutrients and the water through their roots to the plants. We get our seedlings from 9 Mile Farm, about 2,500 to 3,000 seedlings. Once we have our beds prepared, we communicate with our team in 9 Mile Farm, and they air freight the seedlings to us. In 2 to 3 months' time, the seedlings start to produce. We harvest 3 times in a week. Our yield per week is 500 kg in a week and 2 tons in a month. There are 2 varieties that we use. We have big fruit, that's the sunny variety, and the gilly is the small one. We fertilize the strawberries once in a week, and we irrigate, we give water to the plants according to their requirements. We have an instrument that we use that detects the soil, measures the soil moisture content. When it goes down to 0, we know that it's enough. When it goes up to 20, that's the time we start irrigating the plants.
Each of the 67 rows has 500 plants, and the method of multi-cropping is to help fertilize the soil. The strawberries are harvested daily. trucked to Mount Hagen, and airlifted to Port Moresby to be sold in supermarkets in NCD. So just like you, I learned so much about how strawberries are grown and the process it takes to get them from seedling to your favorite ice cream. Knowing this definitely makes me better appreciate the product, and again I'm reminded of the potential we have for agriculture, especially knowing the majority of our population still live in the rural areas, and agriculture is still very much a big part of everyday life for the average Papua New Guinean. I caught up with a friend and visitor to Surunki, Akemi, originally from Japan, and a tour operator based in Goroka, who took the opportunity to visit Enga when the Goroka show was cancelled.
Basically, we don't have any income right now, so unfortunately, we don't have the Goroka show this year because of the coronavirus. So that's a good opportunity to me come here, looking Enga show, and then inspect. If possible, next year we want to get some of the tourists in Enga as well. So we cannot see any virus this moment, so that's why we want to sample tourist or any visitor will come to Goroka and me prahama masro looking road.
From strawberries to salt, and before arriving in Enga, I had heard so much about the salt ponds that Enga is renowned for. It's an intriguing part of culture, and we were privileged to peek just a little bit of this culture from Laigam district. Hundreds of years ago, the locals traded salts for other commodities like oil from Kutubu in the southern highlands then, and sago and kina shells from the Gulf province.
No, me thinking, more beginning blow me blow Enga, only no enough survey long. One something in been stopped before long time blow tumbuna. Also now me put in this line in big blow walk blow me long. Cultural education belong all Simatin belong me long. Enga education society. Me been kissing long Yogonda long Pelikambi long Hapa long Lagaip district.
Up until today, these training practices still occur. The wrapped salt packages like these are used together with pigs, other food crops and cash for the payment of bride price, like he did for his beautiful wife Salome.
Me marry Kurubu where me can marry them Blawon man. Me I'm a master because long country me looking at some plenty all culture na custom lo me play work long. Daina me play thing also me play line him all some culture na custom long all white man tasol. Now me play go back na check through long one something all before tumbana papa na mama lo me play been make him. Only special to mass where me play miss him out. So now Papa am trying to check him out long. So play me and one plug very important resource me play been miss him out. So now me play yet the amamas long displaying this splash. Salt one me upload me splash.
In true Engan fashion and the warmest of hospitality, this province has again taken the lead by hosting the amazing 26th ENGA Show. The event has set the platform and standard to which other shows can take example from. With the uncertainty of global situations, it's a stark reminder for us to appreciate and value the beauty of our people, our places, and our culture. And I'm glad I did just that.
I'm confident that I will run the normal show. I've started the COVID-19 protocols and I've delivered it, and next year would be a normal show.
I'd like to thank the wonderful people of this beautiful province for their hospitality and for allowing me to be a part of the ENGA Show and to celebrate their provincial anniversary. Worth a visit if you haven't already been here. It's been an absolute pleasure to share the ENGA experience with you.